Remember this game? Street Fighter 6 in all its glory running on the Nintendo Switch 2. And not only that, this was on day 1, the very same day that the Nintendo Switch 2 launched. Street Fighter 6, which was Capcom's most recent current generation mainline SF title, was running on the Nintendo Switch 2. So obviously this meant that other current generation fighting games were going to follow suit and come to the Switch 2 within the launch window, right? I mean, yeah, we got Mortal Kombat 1 and then we got Tekken 8 and... Wait, what? Liar! We still don't have a proper Mortal Kombat 1 or Tekken 8? Well, that is actually very interesting. Mortal Kombat 1 is in kind of a strange spot with it being dead and all. So that one is a little bit more understandable for why it hasn't made a full release on the Nintendo Switch 2, aside from just being a backwards compatible Switch 1 title. But Tekken 8, that one is a bit of a mystery. I predicted before the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2 that Tekken 8 was going to be a definite release on the system, and at the time I truly believed that. However, since then, I've been made aware of some unfortunate news. But first, if you enjoy my videos, hit the like button to support the channel, leave a comment down below to let the algorithm know you want more, and back to the video. Street Fighter 6, Virtual Fighter 5 Revo, WWE 2K25 and 2K26, Final Fantasy 7 Integrate and Rebirth, Pragmata, Resident Evil Village, Biohazard, and Requiem. All of these games are late PlayStation 4 and some are even Generation 9 exclusives, all running beautifully on the Nintendo Switch 2. So where in the world is Tekken 8? A few months ago, I would have told you that Tekken 8 was a shoo-in for Nintendo's portable powerhouse, but it would appear that, believe it or not, I was actually wrong about something. I know, I can't believe it either. But I did actually believe Tekken 8 was going to be easy for the Switch 2 to run. That is, until I read comments by Katsuhiro Harada regarding a Nintendo Switch 2 port of Tekken 8. If you don't know who he is, well, he's only the director of Tekken 8. Or I should say formerly. In comments he made back in August of 2025, Harada stated the following: that a Nintendo Switch 2 port of Tekken 8 is not totally off the table, but it would require a lot of work. That's from the man himself. But when I look at that statement, and then I look at what Capcom has been able to do with porting a bunch of their major AAA games from last generation and even current generation, like, we're gonna be getting games from Capcom, AAA games that have not even released on the PlayStation 5 yet, and we're getting them on the Nintendo Switch 2 on the same day. I'm referring obviously to Pragmata, which we have a demo for now, and Resident Evil 9 Requiem. Those are 9th generation exclusive games, meaning that they're not going to be on last generation like PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, but they are on the Switch 2. So I look at games like that coming to the Switch 2, and then obviously I have to think, what exactly is it about Tekken 8 that would make it a lot of work to come to the Nintendo Switch 2? I mean, can it really be that much more work than Street Fighter 6 or a full 3D game like Resident Evil 9 Requiem? I mean, can it? Street Fighter 6 works very well on the Nintendo Switch 2 because of the engine that it's running on. Capcom's own proprietary RE engine. It's very, and I mean very scalable. It supports top-of-the-line high-end features that you would expect from modern games running on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Features such as ray tracing and other things, some which I can't even pronounce, but what's really cool about the RE engine is that it's able to scale dynamically. What that means is that it can scale down features for weaker consoles almost automatically. For example, you've heard of dynamic resolution, right? A game could be programmed to have a target resolution, a resolution that it aims for, but when you have other things impacting the performance of the game, the resolution is going to drop accordingly. So it's going to drop and then go back up. That's a dynamic resolution. The RE engine scales itself down dynamically, so instead of a developer needing to tweak every little thing and manually adjust asset quality, lighting systems, and other features so that they can work on weaker systems, the RE engine kind of just does it on its own. And they zeroed in on this technique so incredibly well that Capcom was able to bring 5 of their major AAA games to the Nintendo Switch 2 in less than a single 12-month period. This is insane. Tekken 8, unfortunately, does not run on the RE engine for obvious reasons. Instead, it runs on Unreal Engine 5. Unlike RE engine, UE5 does not appear to scale dynamically, and it has historically been known to be extremely demanding on hardware. Unreal Engine 5 is designed to push the absolute limits of lighting and geometry. So this is a bit of a problem for a potential Tekken 8 port to the Nintendo Switch 2. Tekken 8 is a fighting game, and so with that in mind, frame rate is extremely important when it comes to this genre. Generally, 60 frames per second is the rule of thumb for fighting games, and if a game aims for that but drops under that regularly enough, it's gonna completely break certain things. Like, it's gonna mess with your timing, it can make combos impossible that would otherwise be very easy to do. The stages in Tekken 8 are incredibly dense. You have wall breaks, floors collapsing, and massive environmental effects like the raining lava. These physics-heavy interactions are very hard on the CPU, which is often the bottleneck for the Switch 2 compared to home consoles. Lumen, that is UE5's lighting system, and it is extremely demanding. If a Bandai were to port Tekken 8 to the Switch 2, it might be the case that they would have to turn this feature off and redo all of the lighting just for the Switch 2 version. Basically, they would have to do it by hand. So taking all of these super heavy features that are part of UE5 and which are used through the majority of Tekken 8, and again, these are features that can't just be scaled down dynamically like in the RE engine. So taking that into consideration, you begin to have a clearer picture of what Harada meant when he said that porting Tekken 8 to the Nintendo Switch 2 would be a lot of work. So for those of you who were hoping Tekken 8 might soon make its way to the Nintendo Switch 2, this video might leave you with a little bit of an ache in your heart. However, not all is lost. Katsuhiro Harada did also say that porting Tekken 8 to the Switch 2 is not off the table, and that it would be a very good business decision. So that's going to be it for this video. Let me know down in the comments, do you buy this reason for why Tekken 8 is not on the Switch 2? And can the Switch 2 just not handle it? Or is Bandai Namco just being lazy? Alright dudes, I'm going to be doing a Street Fighter 6 on Switch 2 8 months later video pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. I'm Switch Played done.